Welcome back to the Arizona Daily Mix. You know, it's a new year, a new you, and we've been talking about it all morning long, and we want you to make sure that your mental health is ready to go for 2021, and that's where Dr. Frederick comes in. Good morning, Dr. Frederick. How are you?
Good morning, Brad. I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. You know, I picked up a great book to read to get me going into the new year. I started setting some unstressful goals, which are very important for me. But again, last year it was very stressful, and I said I didn't want to carry that going into the new year, which is very important. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. That with the expectations that we have going into this new year, I think is really important for us to check and be aware of that with all the COVID stuff in 2020, that we're not carrying that into 2021. And that we're also having some grace for ourselves as we, go into the new year and being aware of what are these New Year's resolutions that we're setting, and are they realistic, and are they adding more stress?
Yeah, we are looking at actually able to pretty much go into the new year with more months to kind of like look towards the future compared to last year when COVID hit us kind of like at the beginning of the year, and then we didn't know what was going on, lockdowns and everything. What are some of the things that we should be, expecting to do coming up here to release some of the stress?
Yeah, so going into the new year, starting with some self-reflection and really taking time to assess, in spite of 2020 being so hard, what went well? Because there were things that did go well. And, what do we have to be grateful for? And furthermore, what did we learn from 2020? And those are all wonderful things. If we survived that, we can carry all that knowledge into 2021, and that really reduces the stress. Yeah. And then going into it, even considering gratitude journaling, or, that we keep focusing on what we have to be grateful for.
Yeah, and we're seeing that we have to change some of our bad patterns that we got into while being, home with lockdown and everything like that. And that's, again, you just said right there, that gratitude book, I think, is something that's definitely going to be a plus, right?
Yeah, so there's a lot of science to support that gratitude journaling helps to really shift perspective and is really beneficial for mental health and well-being. Because when we really sit down at the end of the day and focus on what went well instead of all of the struggles throughout the day, we get to really look at life from a different perspective.
Yeah. Okay. I talked to a couple of friends. I've been trying to get them to do a goal setting, but they're like, hey, I tried that in 2020 because it was like, oh my goodness, 2020, what up, woohoo! And then they're like, yes. Why should I even worry about it for 2021? But is that something that's smart to do?
Well, so we can look at it from two perspectives, because on one hand, it's completely valid to not go into the new year with a lot of stress and expectations on ourselves. But also, it's a new year, and there's a fresh start and fresh opportunity. And so we can go into the new year with maybe just more realistic. I suggest to my clients that they use the SMART goals, smart, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And so that they're being really specific on what they're trying to achieve. But the other part of it is using what I call the snowball effect, where just pick something small. Maybe it's going to the gym 3 times a week and build on that once you see your success.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's talk about the new year. I know we got to wrap it up here in a minute, but something that is very important that people started to really recognize during this pandemic, but that was their own mental health and taking care of themselves. And is, again, so important going into this new year, especially as people start to recognize some personal stuff about yourself. And that's what people need to do, right? Recognize their self.
Yeah, so spending some time in self-reflection and self-assessment and really determining, are you spending more of your day feeling sad or angry or upset or lethargic or any of those things than you normally are? And if so, now is the time to seek help. And I'm really, suggesting to people that they start sooner rather than later, because the beginning of the year is when mental health therapists really fill up. So in order to get in and get the quality therapist that you want, now is the time.
You said it right there. Okay, for those that do need to get in, and those who might not, who might have a friend they want to find the help, how can they do that? How can they get a hold of you?
So our website is evolvecounselingaz.com, and we can also be found on Instagram at evolvecounselingaz.
So, and I also want to mention to people that you've been expanding, so you're there to help a lot more people now.
Yes, and I think that that's what's wonderful. A lot of practices are going to be full, but we are expanding, and so yeah, we do have the room to help people as needed.
Perfect. Well, Dr. Frederick, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.